Welcome back to Mark's Garage. It is early November. It's a little crisp outside, but it's great to be in the garage talking about motorcycles. And today, I want to share with you some information about the BMW F450 GS. And so, famous international motorcycle show called EICMA just wrapped up not too long ago, just several days ago, in Milan, Italy. Wouldn't that be a great place to go check out motorcycles if you're a moto journalist? And so we're going to talk about the new GS 450 and what's going on there. As you know, I'm a BMW fan. I've got my 1250 RT right there, and I've owned other BMW motorcycles. We'll take a look at those in just a second. But let's get into a little bit more about what's going on with this 450 GS. This smaller, mid-sized displacement adventure bike or scrambler bikes seem to be getting a lot more popular. And I think, you know, when I think about the large displacement bikes, and don't get me wrong, they're terrific motorcycles. When you think about the 1250, now the 1300 GS, the 1300 GSA, the Africa Twin, all of those. But what I think is going on is that it takes a lot more skill and a lot more talent and strength to be able to ride those bikes, to keep them upright. They are heavier, and this new trend about that 400, 450, 500cc class seems to really be taking off. All right, here's a couple of pictures of some of the adventure style, larger adventure style bikes that I've owned during the last 10 years. And it starts with, let's see, the very last one would have been the Honda Africa Twin. Really good motorcycle. And the next one up here would be the BMW 1200 Adventure, the GSA, and another great motorcycle. Big gas tank, almost 8 gallons of fuel, so you could go a long ways on this. Fairly tall, I think it was a 35 or 36 inch seat height. And then before that, I owned a GS. This is the GS Trophy in the trophy color. Really nice motorcycle. And again, well built. You can go long distance, but if you go anywhere off-road, light off-road, you just have to be aware that the size and weight of this don't really align really well with doing trail riding, and it's easy to have a tip over. And for some, that's not a big deal. And for me, at my juncture right now, I like having a little lighter weight and a little more control and the ability to keep that thing upright. Some of you know that in Mark's Garage, I've got the Triumph Scrambler 400X, and this has been a terrific bike for a couple of things. One, going to my Road America functions across the 640 acres. It's just about a mile away. Great bike for taking over there and for some Saturday morning breakfast rides. And I've also got the Versys 650 LT with the included luggage. This is a perfect size motorcycle for me, easy to get on and off, lots of great standard features. And so this smaller displacement, middle size class is really appealing to me. Now, what has me interested in this BMW 450 is there's a lot of neat features, including its compact size, the weight of the motorcycle. You know, it's sub 400 pounds. Let's get into some of those features. The engine on the new 450 GS is brand new. It's a parallel twin. BMW claims that it produces 48 horsepower, 32 foot-pounds of torque. And so based on the weight of the bike, which fully fueled, wet weight 392 pounds, which is about the same weight as my Triumph Scrambler, that has 40 horsepower. And that is a blast to ride. Very peppy, a lot of fun. So I can imagine that the 450 GS, in terms of a power to weight ratio, is going to be a lot of fun to hop on and twist the throttle. So the new 450 BMW GS, it's going to have a variety of models. There's a base model. BMW always has a base model, but most of those don't ever make it here to the US, and they're more up-spec'd. And so when you look at, you know, the top couple of models, there's a lot of standard features. And so that's things like the quick shifter. And something new that I just learned about is the clutching system that they're going to be offering. I think it's an accessory or part of one of the top spec models. And that clutch is called the Easy Ride clutch. And how it's designed, it sounds pretty cool. You don't need to use the clutch. It will automatically work for you when you slow down or take off. If you want to use the clutch and do some feathering if you're off-road, you have the option to use it, but you don't need it. So it's called an Easy Ride clutch. That's pretty cool. And the other things that are standard, you get a quick shifter, nice TFT display, phone connectivity. You're talking about other features like ABS Pro, which I have on the RT, and that basically is lean sensitive ABS, which is great. So a lot of nice features, should be fun to ride. The seat height, 33 inches, in case we didn't mention that. So that'll be real approachable, and the longer suspension that comes on this, once you hop on it, that'll settle down. And I'm sure that for most riders, you'll be able to get your feet on the ground, no problem. So all of those things are really interesting to me. A little bit about the timing of this. So as I was reading some information today from BMW, it doesn't look like the 450 GS will be available in the United States until 2026 and maybe mid-year or a little bit later on in the year. So we're going to have to wait a little bit for that, but definitely looking forward to seeing that in person. It sounds like a really fun motorcycle to have. All right, a little bit about the BMW 450, about where it's made. So BMW has partnered with a company in India. They've been around for a long time, I think since 1911. And the company is called TVS. And they produce an awful lot of motorcycles and have been for quite some time. They are currently producing about 3 million per year, and they have capacity to produce 4 million a year. So this is not new to BMW. BMW used them to produce the G310 models, which are going to be discontinued here in 2025, I believe. And so the 450 GS will be produced there. They're known for high quality, and I think their partnership with BMW has been pretty darn good. So anyway, this model will be built in India. That's not unlike what Triumph does either. So my Scrambler, that has been built by a company in India called BAJAJ, B-A-J-A-J. I'm not sure if that's pronounced right, but Triumph has a partnership with a company there as well. So that's the information on where it's made. So the BMW 450 GS will be competing against a couple other models that are out there right now. And so one of those is produced by Royal Enfield, or Enfield, from India. and that is the Himalayan, the 450 Himalayan, and that is pretty competitively priced. Now, this doesn't include freight and setup, but the Himalayan is priced at right at $6,000, and so that's one that they'll be competing against. The other is from a Chinese company, CF Moto, and I think you're starting to see more CF Moto motorcycles in showrooms of dealerships. They've done a good job of kind of getting in there as a secondary brand, and CF Moto has the Ibex 450. That's a parallel twin two-cylinder bike, and that is priced at $64.99 plus freight and setup. So now you combine that with Kawasaki, who just came to the market here maybe about a week or so ago, and they announced their KLE 500. It's really a 450cc parallel twin. They have not announced the pricing there, but I'm sure it's going to be in that range. So guessing, where BMW being a premium brand, I can see the price point on the new 450 GS being maybe just a little bit above those. And so instead of 6,500, I could see 7,500 as maybe their price point, maybe even 8,000. So we'll see. They have not announced pricing yet, but we'll be watching for that coming around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Mark's Garage and letting me talk a little bit here about the BMW 450 GS. I'm very interested to see it in person, and we'll stay in touch with the local BMW dealers. There's one in Milwaukee just south of me. There's one up in De Pere. So we'll be checking that out, and we'll learn a little bit more soon too about when those bikes will actually be showing up here in the US. So thanks again for tuning in. And as always, and until next time, take care.